Hello, well I'm hopefully live now. It's been a little while since I've done this, I think about 6 months actually. So hopefully it's all working. It's taken me a little while to get the technology working again, but hi! I thought as it's the 1 year anniversary today of my weight loss surgery, I should really get in touch and say hello and thank you to everybody who's been so supportive and wonderful throughout my journey. So I'm sure those of you who perhaps haven't been following me directly on Facebook, who haven't been intimately involved with the journey as my friends, you might be curious as to how it's gone in terms of the facts and figures. I mean, hopefully you can see that it's worked really well so far. I have a little way to go still, but let me show you some facts and figures. So here we go. In the year since the surgery, specifically since the surgery, I've lost 42 kilos. So that's 6 stone 9 pounds, or about nearly 93 pounds for those of you in the US. But I count the total weight loss because obviously from the moment I decided to have surgery, I started to lose weight, I worked on it. So my total weight loss is actually 48.7 kilos. I'm wavering up and down around that weight, and I've got those last 4.5 kilos, about 10 pounds to lose. And at the moment my next big goal is going to be getting to the 50 kilo mark, which is not long to go, I hope. And you can see there from the measurements I've lost quite a lot from my waist, my bust, my underbust, my calf measurement and my upper arm measurement as well. That said, I still have pretty hefty upper arms, but that's going to be more of a skin issue, I think, to be dealt with. So let me come back to you. Now, when I said a few days ago I was going to do this, I said, what hair am I going to wear? And that's a big decision. And actually I decided today to go au naturel. I decided to actually wear my own hair because I do have not as much as I used to have at the back, but I have a reasonable amount of hair at the back. And actually I can get away with wearing one of my many fabulous headbands. I love my headbands, and they hide a multitude of sins because where I'm lacking the hair is right up here. But it's coming back. It stopped falling out bang on time about July, August time. So I think my hair fell out for about 5 months, and they say it happens, for about 3 to 6 months. So, and I can see, I won't show you, I won't subject you to that sight, especially as it's all been matted down by the headband, but I have lots of little tufts. They're about this long now, sort of all over the place, of really fine baby hair growing back. So it's a bit useless at the moment, but it's starting to come back. I reckon probably another year or so before it's back to how I was before, which of course wasn't fantastic. So I'm going to carry on wearing wigs, probably not every day once I've got my hair back, but certainly for speaking, TV engagement, etc. But I just wanted to show you a bit of playfulness if you haven't been intimately involved with my life. Just the different looks I've been able to play with, really, since having this experience of losing so much hair because of my weight loss. So here are some of the looks. So you can see I've got a variety of blonde wigs because I like myself in blonde, but I've also played around a little bit. I haven't got on there actually a photo of me with a redhead wig, so I do have a redhead wig as well, but I love my brunette wavy hair, and I absolutely love my purple hair for a night out. That really goes with bold makeup and sexy sassy clothing. I went out last weekend in a really lovely sparkly short black dress with high heels and fishnet tights, I know, and if I say so myself, I think I looked fabulous. I was really happy with how I looked, and I couldn't believe how confident I felt. So there you go with my purple hair, because it really does make a statement when you do that. So I'm going to come back to live again, and I can see that I might have had a few comments, I'm not sure, so I'm just going to have a quick look. I think Sue is watching and has given a reaction. Hi Sue, always good to see you. So you've seen the measurements, you've seen the different looks, and here we go. So here I am in my skinny jeans. Obviously, I still have a fair bit of belly. It's not like I'm ever going to be really skinny. I'm not planning on being really skinny, but I'm very happy with where I am. Size-wise, in terms of clothes, UK sizes, I was about a 24 top before I started losing weight, sometimes edging into a 26. And I am now increasingly in 14 tops, sometimes still 16s, it depends what it is. This is a fabulous 14. And bottoms, I was about a 22, sometimes a 20 if I was really lucky, but generally a 22. And now I'm between a 12 and a 14, which I still can't believe. So the jeans I'm wearing today are a very small 14. When I look at them, when I've just washed them, I think, how am I wearing these? I've actually got a couple of pairs of size 12 jeans, which are the same size and make and model that my youngest daughter Hannah has. And I cannot believe I'm in the same size, make and model of jeans that she has. That said, she is far, far slimmer than I am, but I have a lot of softness, shall we say, around the belly that I can squeeze into the jeans and still be really comfortable. It just means I have to maybe wear something a bit looser over the top as it all spills. But there you go. That's why she is 20 and I'm 47, and I've got the delightful softness of having lost a lot of weight recently. But actually, you know, skin-wise, I was really concerned, as I'm sure you know, and actually I've done okay. It's not too bad. It's not brilliant, but I wore a bikini this summer and I felt perfectly confident walking around in a bikini, far more than I did when I walked around in a bikini before with all the extra weight. Also in the summer I broke my arm, my wrist, but as my daughter who's studying medicine tells me, there's nothing to break in the wrist, it's actually your arm. I broke it in 2 places, here and here, and I must say I was hugely relieved that I weighed so much less, because I took a really nasty fall as I slipped backwards, put my hand out, slipped on some wet rocks by the sea, and it hurt like hell. And it healed really well in 5 weeks in a plaster, but actually if I'd weighed a lot more, I think the break could have been a lot nastier, because it was a break without dislocation, so it was just 2 clean breaks, very minor really. So lots and lots of advantages. I want to bring a little bit of what I do into this, of course, because you know, it's all well and good talking about this, but it's positive psychology, I think, is what's seen me through so much of this, and this is no matter what's going on in your life. So if I just talk about character strengths first of all, some of the character strengths that I've used, it's not an exhaustive list, but curiosity every step of the way. I wanted to see what would come next, how would it feel, what would I look like, what clothes would I be able to buy, all of that kind of thing, was being really curious. The honesty, I think, has been really important as I have been doing these videos, and I've shared the highs and lows and the frustrations, and you know, mostly there haven't been many frustrations, so it's been a lot of positives, but I've been honest and shared how I feel and what's happening. I've had immense gratitude all the way through to all the people who've supported me, from the really practical stuff to the emotional support, and just every time I walk into a room where people knew me before and know me now and they go, oh my God, you look amazing, I will never stop feeling grateful for that. And people sometimes apologise for saying that. Don't apologise. There is never a bad time to be told that you look amazing, honestly. So when people tell me that, it feels fantastic. And actually, it's a bit disappointing, being honest here, when people who didn't know me before don't comment on the fact that I look amazing, because of course I might look perfectly nice, but they haven't seen the transformation, so they don't notice the drastic change. And so sometimes I think, oh, okay, so people who meet me now just won't see this amazing transformation. But hey ho, I still know it's there, so that's great. Forgiveness has been important, forgiving myself, you know, not beating myself up over having got to the point where I needed surgery, but just drawing a line and moving on and focusing on what I needed to do. Hope every step of the way. Hope that my skin wouldn't be horrific, hope that my hair would come back, hope that it would work. And you know, even now, I mean, I've lost all this weight and it's been a year. Hope that I'll lose the last few bits, that I can do this, and that I'll keep it off. That's huge hope. Humour every step of the way, you know, laughing at myself for all the mishaps, the various things that have been happening, the constant burpiness, the noisy growling stomach. If I didn't have a sense of humour, sometimes that could be a little bit soul destroying, you know, but I do have a sense of humour, and that's helped me through immensely. Perseverance, obviously, sticking at it and making the right choices, because the surgery alone doesn't do it. It has felt a lot easier than I thought it would be, but I've got to remind myself that actually it's felt easy, but I've made daily choices, sometimes hourly choices of eating healthy foods, of thinking about nutrition first and foremost, and looking after myself, not just from the point of view of losing the weight, but actually of making sure that I don't lose loads of muscle mass, and so eating proteins and all of that kind of thing. Self-regulation goes with that, hand in hand, making those right choices, regulating on a daily basis, and zest, because I approach everything, I hope those of you who know me, with zest and enthusiasm and passion. And once I decide I'm going to do something, I do it and I throw myself in wholeheartedly, and that's exactly what I did with this, and I think that's really helped me. So I also wanted to mention an activity that I did when I first did my Introduction to Positive Psychology module on my Masters in Applied Positive Psychology, which, by the way, I have now graduated, and I've graduated with distinction. Yay! I'm so happy. But one of the first things we did in the introduction module is an activity called Best Possible Self. You take about 20 minutes of quiet time, and you write out, draw out, whichever way works for you. I did it as a bit of a mind map, where you see yourself at a specific point in the future, bearing in mind that the premise of this is, if everything had gone exactly the way you wanted it to be, what would you be doing? Where would you be? What would be happening in your life at this particular point in the future? So you're not thinking about obstacles at all. You're literally thinking everything's going to go swimmingly, perfectly. This is your very best possible self. And we did this as a group, but obviously as an individual activity, for 5 years down the line. So we're just over halfway now, actually, from that point, about 2.5 years in. And I have it above my desk. I look up at that quite often. It's got stuff to do with my career, my work, etc. But I had health on there, and I'll just read out to you some of the things that I'd written about my health 2.5 years ago, where I wanted to be 2.5 years in the future from now. I would be full of energy, I would be a healthy weight, I would have radiant skin, I would regularly go swimming, and sciatica would be a thing of the past. Well, I'll let you judge whether I have radiant skin. I think I have. I think, well, people do tell me that I'm radiating health. I'm certainly full of energy. And that's not just necessarily in terms of how much I can do every day, but it's just in the little things, how I move, being able to just go up and down the stairs without thinking about it, not being embarrassed if I'm going up a set of stairs, talking to somebody because I'm going to get really out of breath, all of that kind of thing. But it's really in how I move more than anything, how I walk, and being able to cross my legs. I know that's got nothing to do with energy, but I started crossing my legs very early on in this journey, and I'd forgotten how amazing it was to just cross your legs. I do it all the time now. It's very unhealthy, but it's just something that I do, and it's amazing. I do go swimming regularly. Sciatica, it's still there occasionally, but I haven't taken any medication for the pain of sciatica since I had the surgery. And it's certainly nothing on the scale that it was when I decided that I needed to do something as drastic as surgery. And most of the time I can forget all about it. I am now, in my eyes, a healthy weight. I'm still in the obese bracket, just. By the time I reach my target weight, I'll be towards the top end of the overweight bracket, and I'll be happy with that. That to me is a healthy weight, no matter what the BMI says, because compared to where I was, it's brilliant, and it's where I want to be. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. So positive psychology, really having the right, your head in the right place, I think is crucial when you set yourself massive goals, and doing something like Best Possible Self activity can be a huge support in doing that. But then working on your character strengths and being aware of those, and as I mentioned, all those strengths earlier on, they've really helped me through. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're working on, I hope that you can use those tools to help you. So set some time aside this weekend, and why not do a Best Possible Self activity. I promise you it's an amazing, uplifting activity to do. It boosts your emotions straight away, and it can have really lasting positive impact. Now I'm going to love you and leave you. I've rambled on for long enough. Tonight I'm going for a meal with my lovely hubby Simon, and then we're going to the cinema to celebrate my weight loss. And yes, it seems odd to go for a meal, but actually the beautiful thing about having had this surgery and having changed my habits is that eating out is no different than eating in. I don't gorge when I go to a restaurant because I'm not capable of gorging. Actually, I tend to eat less because I'm worried about the burpiness and everything, if I've eaten too much or too fast or both. And eating out is something the dietitian told me very early on, straight after I'd had the surgery, is a good way to slow down your eating, because you tend to be eating socially. And so you talk and you're slowing it down, so you tend to have fewer of those kind of burpiness issues, food getting stuck, etc. So actually eating out is great, and some of the weeks in which I've lost the most weight have been weeks when I've eaten out lots. So it's a complete turnaround from before. So tonight I am going for a meal and I am going to the cinema, and I'm really going to enjoy celebrating the 1 year anniversary. So thank you for being on this journey with me. So thank you for following me on this and for your support. I am really immensely grateful, more than I can say. And thank you for watching my rambles yet again. Bye.